Hi everyone. Today, Sarah and I are diving into a topic that might surprise you. Fashion and clothing. Even if you're not into fashion, it's an area you might need to discuss on the IELTS exam.
That's right, Tom. Even though I'm not a huge fashionista myself, it's a topic that often pops up in IELTS speaking, especially in Part 1. And you know, IELTS can be all about answering questions on the spot, no time to prepare. So, it's a good idea to get familiar with the types of questions and language you might need.
So, Sarah, would you say you're into fashion?
Oh, not particularly. I care about looking presentable, but I don't put in a huge amount of effort. I usually go for clothes that are comfortable and simple. What about you?
Same here. I prefer a more classic style, nothing too flashy. But I do try to look smart. Speaking of smart, that's a word British people often use. It actually means well-dressed or neat. In British English, smart clothes are the opposite of casual clothes, like a suit versus a t-shirt.
Yes, exactly. And in IELTS exam, you might be asked if you prefer smart or casual clothes. For me, it's definitely casual. I only wear smart clothes for formal occasions, like weddings or interviews. Comfort is king in my everyday choices.
Absolutely. And that's a great phrase, comfort is king. It means comfort is the most important factor. It's a nice way to express preferences in IELTS speaking, especially for those casual versus smart clothing questions.
Now, shall we try a few sample questions, like they might ask in the IELTS exam? Here's a good one. Do you often buy new clothes?
Good idea. All right, let's see. I don't shop for clothes that often. I'd say my wardrobe is pretty basic. I prefer investing in timeless pieces, you know, things that won't go out of fashion. So, if I buy something, I go for quality over quantity.
Nice answer. You used wardrobe there, which is a good word for all your clothes. And timeless pieces is another great term. It means clothes that don't become outdated quickly, like a classic pair of jeans or a white shirt.
Exactly. And here's another phrase, quality over quantity. It means I'd rather have fewer high-quality clothes than lots of cheap ones. It's a nice way to talk about preferences.
Right. And I might add, I don't mind if clothes are a bit worn out. By the way, everyone, worn out means clothes that have been used so much they look a bit old or faded. It's a good descriptive word for IELTS.
I have some clothes that are nearly threadbare. Would you use that word?
Definitely. Threadbare is a more advanced way to say something is nearly worn out or see-through. It's often used for clothes we've held onto for a long time, and it gives a vivid picture.
I think showing a bit of personality in answers like this can be a good thing, right?
Absolutely. For example, imagine you're saying something a bit self-deprecating, like, my wardrobe is full of worn-out clothes because I can't be bothered to shop. A touch of humor or self-awareness shows natural language use. It's okay to add a laugh or two if it's genuine.
Yes, humor helps us sound more natural. It's like adding a bit of ourselves to the answer. And this is especially important because IELTS examiners appreciate fluency, and sounding natural is a big part of that.
Now, let's try something about fashion trends. Here's a question, are there any recent fashion trends you've noticed?
Well, I've seen the return of baggy jeans and oversized shirts. It's quite funny because this is similar to the 90s style, and I thought we'd left that behind. But here it is again.
Yes. And it's always interesting how trends come back. You could say something like, fashion is cyclical. That means it goes in circles, old styles come back into fashion. It's a handy phrase for answering questions about trends.
And speaking of trends, you could also say, I'm not one to follow trends. That's a more advanced way to say you don't follow the latest fashion.
Okay, let's roleplay this last question. I'll pretend I'm someone really into fashion, and you can be someone who's more casual. Ready?
Let's do it. What's the question?
Do you prefer wearing smart or casual clothes?
Oh, definitely casual clothes. I pick a comfy t-shirt and jeans over a suit any day. Smart clothes feel a bit stiff to me. If I'm going somewhere formal, I'll dress up, but otherwise, comfort is my top priority.
I always prefer smart clothing. I feel more confident in a tailored suit or an elegant dress. I'd say that looking smart and polished is essential for making a good impression.
That was fun. And it's a great reminder that in IELTS exam, you can adapt your answers based on different styles or roles. It's fine to exaggerate a bit if it helps you use more vocabulary. Now, it's your turn. Guess which questions and answers of this section are formal or informal.
So, guys, here are some tips to keep in mind for IELTS questions on clothing.
Use descriptive language. Words like timeless, casual, smart, threadbare, and ratty definitely add depth to your answers.
Here is another tip. Add your personality. Little personal anecdotes make your answers more genuine. It's okay to mention something funny, as long as it's related to the question. And finally, practice both sides. If you're unsure, try role-playing. Practice as someone who loves fashion and someone who doesn't care. You'll build a wider vocabulary.
And remember, fashion questions are a chance to show off your creativity with phrases like quality over quantity or comfort is king. Even if fashion isn't your thing, practicing can help you feel confident when faced with these questions in the exam.
Exactly. Thank you so much for watching, and don't forget to practice these tips to be ready for IELTS questions on fashion. See you next time.
See you everyone. And remember, comfort really is king.